Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Well, the holiday season is fast approaching. Hard to believe it's already here. And I thought I might do something a little bit different. I've never actually done a video with some of my recommendations for the holiday season. I think, I hope you guys trust my opinion and I'm not going to mislead you. So I thought maybe you guys would like a video where I can recommend some of the things that I think will be good purchases if your kids are looking for something remote control for Christmas. As you know, I review drones, but also cars and boats and anything remote control related. Now, I'm going to be linking you guys to these products I recommend. Mostly I'll be using Banggood to link to these because I trust them the most of the Chinese vendors. Because, it takes a long time to get stuff from China. And Banggood's been doing a real good job lately. As long as you order stuff by now. Now, of course, if you want to order it from Amazon and you're in the United States, it's going to be much quicker and you're going to have their really good customer service, so you never can go wrong there. The problem is many times these things on Amazon are marked up 2, sometimes 3 times what they should be, selling from China from vendors such as Banggood. So I'll be using Banggood. I might use Amazon as well. If the price is good. And don't be too concerned with the price you see here on the screen. I will try to link to you the best price in the video description. I just have them pulled up here in tabs on my browser, but there's maybe some coupons on some of these items that will lower the prices even more. And like I said, I'll try to include that in the video description. So the first thing I want to look at is just an overall, what's the best beginner's drone for just someone who's getting into this hobby, just a kid, or it can be an adult, someone who's getting into this and just wants something to learn how to fly. You could never go wrong with the SYMA X5C. This is the -1, the newer version. According to Banggood, they have those in stock. And if you're in the United States, it's about $44 is what the price listed here is from the U.S. warehouse. Now, again, there may be some coupons I can find to lower this down, and if so, I will include that in the description. But you can buy this from Amazon. You can buy them from probably eBay, I'm certain. And you may be able to find some of the X5C clones, which they always seem to fly as well, are really close. So if you can find one for 20 or 25 bucks, go for it. If I, like I said, see any other ones like it, I will include those in the video description. The nice thing about the X5C, it doesn't have altitude hold, doesn't have any fancy smart features. So it's really good to learn to fly with, and you will learn your orientation and throttle maintenance and all that important stuff. So when you move up to something even that's easier to fly, you'll be fully confident, because if something goes wrong, it's not going to throw you into a panic. Whereas someone who's only flown, like say a GPS drone, let's say, is going to freak out when if the drone all of a sudden starts misbehaving. So the next thing I want to look at is, I'm just going to go in order here, so these are not going to necessarily be in like progression from easiest to fly to hardest. But if you are someone who's really into getting into FPV and you are looking for something that's really good and easy to fly, but it's not really huge, so you can safely fly it, let's say maybe in a large backyard or in a field near your house, and you don't have to worry about the concerns of a large, let's say 5 or 7 inch racer. The 3-inch Diatone R349, which I reviewed the E-Sheen version of this several months ago. This is exceptional. Now, it doesn't have any HD camera on it, so be mindful of that, but it does have a really nice analog FPV, run cam micro swift on it, and it uses the one I have. This one doesn't have that. The one I have had the Team Black Sheep Video TX, which is really, really good. This one is the cheaper one. I don't think this one has the TBS Video TX on it. But as you can see here in the United States, this is $119. Now, of course, this is bind and fly, so you have to provide your, this one actually is plug and play. So this one you actually have to provide your own receiver and controller. So if you buy the receiver, let's say an RXSR Free Sky receiver, it just plugs in. It's not, there's no soldering required. It was super easy. I plugged it in, put some tape around it to make sure it can't short against anything, and then installed it up underneath the canopy on the top of the drone, underneath that, and then get it bound up. So you'll need to get a receiver and you will need a controller for that. And of course, it will work with various systems. I'm just using FreeSky as an example. So I use it with my QX7 along with RXSR receiver. Now, if you're just getting into FPV and you want something that's brushless like this, but you can fly it indoors and outdoors, you don't have to be worried about any FAA weight restrictions, a 250 gram limit, something you can whoop around in your house and outside. You can't go wrong with the Emacs Tinyhawk. Now, there's a Tinyhawk S out. It's an upgrade to this one, but there's no reason why you shouldn't start with the original one. Now, this is also in the U.S. warehouse. $90 for just the drone. This one does come as bind and fly. So if you, let's say, choose, the FreeSky, and then you can bind it up with, let's say, a Tyrannus and fly it around inside your house, outside, and it does just fine. The original one here just runs with a 1S LiPo, and it's really, really good. Now, the Video TX is not the greatest, but up close, flying like you would with these little whoops, it does really, really well. Just be sure that you get yourself extra props or have a place you can order them from, such as down here you can see 2 pairs is $4. These pop off the motors very easy, and it's very easy to lose them. I've nearly lost my props several times. In fact, I almost lost one before the review and didn't have any extras because it didn't come with the bind and fly. Any extras did. But if you want to get the ready to fly version, that one is running $155, of course, without any coupons. This could be lower with some sort of coupons. That's going to give you a controller, so you don't have to worry about binding it with anything. And it seems like this controller is pretty decent. The drone and a pair of FPV goggles. So then you're all ready to go right out of the box. You don't need to have any kind of FPV goggles. You don't need to have a controller to bind to this drone. So for roughly $60-70 more, you're going to get the whole kit. That's a good idea for anybody who has nothing. If you want to get into FPV and you don't have a Tyrannus, let's say you don't have any FPV goggles, this is definitely one I highly recommend. You can see on 579 reviews, it's got 4.94 stars. So this is a really, really good one. It is highly recommended. You can also get these on Amazon as well, but I imagine it's going to be more expensive, especially for the ready to fly. Now, if you're like me and you like boats, and I love boats, they're not always the most convenient because you got to go to a lake to be able to drive them. I really like the Feilun FT011. I also love my Voluntex Atomic, I think it's the V792, something like that. It's up here, right above me here on my computer desk. That one's great as well, but not quite as cheap. You really can't go wrong, though, with the Feilun FT011. This is a ready-to-run brushless boat that comes with a 4S LiPo. It flies, probably 35 miles an hour. It shoots a big rooster tail out of it. If you haven't seen my review from a couple of summers ago, go check it out. I'll just kind of go through some of the thumbnails over here so you guys can see for this one. There you can see how large it is with that person holding it. This is a really awesome boat. Ready to go. It just is super fast. $125 from the USA warehouse. Again, you can't go wrong with that. And this is going to probably be a lot more on Amazon, is my guess. Only concern I have with this boat is put a timer for 4 minutes or so. The low voltage on this boat is very short before it just sputters to a stop. And then you got to let it rest a moment and give a little juice and a little juice, and you can have trouble getting to the shore if you hit low voltage very far from the shore. So it's best to have a timer going on this boat so that you can bring it back before it reaches the low voltage. Now, if you're really into RC cars, or your kids are looking to get into RC cars, some of these little 1/16 scale brushless trucks that are coming out are great, and they're under $100. First one I'm going to show you is the Remo Hobby 1635. This is a little brushless truck. I reviewed this one as well, so make sure you check out the review of that. I'll try to include my review links with the purchase links to the stuff I reviewed. This one's $98. Again, I think I had a coupon that dropped this down below $90 if it still works. So again, I'll include that. This one is only available from China through Banggood. As you can see, there's a brushless motor in this one. You can see it here if I can get it to stay on that right in here. It's got some aluminum parts. It does use only a 2S lithium ion though. It's fully ready to run with a charger, your pistol grip controller, and it comes with everything you need. This one runs at around 25 miles an hour, and it's a blast. It doesn't have oil-filled shocks. That'd be the only upgrade I would recommend for this one, and that's going to be really cheap, but it's not an absolute must. It works just fine on the friction shocks. Another one in this category I also reviewed that I love is the new Zenlahong Q903. This runs in the same price range. You can get it in two different colors, green and orange here. And this is a super one as well. And again, if I have a coupon, I'll include it. This one does come with a 2S LiPo. It gives a little more kick off the go than the Smax. Comes with a charger, comes with your pistol grip style controller, and this is great. The only thing is this one is a little bouncier. The spring or friction shocks, it tends to bounce more so than the Remo Hobby. You can see that in my review video. It's kind of bobbing and bouncing along as it goes down the road. But it's got good power just like the Remo Hobby. Anything brushless is going to. And this one, I didn't do a speed test on this, but this is going to run. I could just tell by how it drove for me. It's going to be in that same 25 to 30 mile per hour top speed as the Remo Hobby Smax. Now if you want to go to something bigger, this one I'm going to show you now is not new, but I love it. And that is the DHK Maximus. If your budget can justify $400, and that's about what this is selling for, it's going to be a little more expensive probably from anywhere in the US. And if I have a coupon, of course, I'll include it with this one, as I keep saying. This truck, when I got mine, was from Gear Best, was selling for about $270, which they may have been losing money at the time, believe it or not. If I click on China, you'll see this jumps up to $409. So if you live in the US, it's actually $10 cheaper to buy it through the US warehouse. This uses two 2S LiPos running together as 4S. Has a ton of metal parts, shocks. It's very well built. Big 120 amp ESC here in it. It's got a nice big cooling fan on the brushless motor. I think the ESC is a hobby wing, I believe. Just as you can see in the pictures, they're just really nice. You can get spare parts for this in the USA. I think RC Hobby Explosion is where I got some of mine for dirt cheap. Comes with a charger, everything you need. I think you just have to pop the wheels on. That's the thing it doesn't come with. I'm not a huge fan of the controller, but it gets the job done and has good range. I'm going to be doing a video here soon where I'm going to use a radio link controller that I got to upgrade to a little bit better, more comfortable controller compared to the factory one. Some people also recommend you upgrade the steering servo to a better high torque one. I've had no problems with mine, but that's also going to be a cheap upgrade. So you get two batteries, charger, controller. It's just a beast at 1/8 scale. So be mindful that this is a gigantic truck. But for $400, it's great. So if that price range is okay for you, maybe you're an adult and you want to buy it for yourself for Christmas, you can't go wrong with this. And it's very easy to work on if you need to pick up spare parts, which again are very cheap. Let's move along now to what if you want to get yourself into aerial photography and a GPS drone, but you don't want to break the bank. Well, the first one I would recommend is the Hubsan H117S, otherwise known as the Xeno. Now you can get the Xeno sometimes as low as $240. There should be some sales coming up on it. So disregard this price. It's going to be cheaper than that, either through sales or coupon codes. Make sure that if you want the lowest price, you configure it from China without a bag and with one battery. This is a 4K capable drone with a nice 3-axis stabilized gimbal. It flies pretty good and it takes really good video. Has pretty decent range. Now I have not reviewed this drone. I had one I ordered. It got returned to China. There are some issues with the Xeno, particularly getting them through Hong Kong airport with the riots. There was a while back I couldn't add this drone. Now you can, so I guess they are now shipping them to the United States again. If you want to play it safe, click on the USA. You'll pay a little bit more, but you'll be coming from California and there'll be no issues getting it. But the cheapest price, you'll need to order it from China. That's also where the big discount codes always work. So definitely consider that one. Now, for a little bit more money, you know, if we're looking in the $300 range, the new Mavic Mini that just came out, I don't have that one pulled up here. Let me see if I can go to, let's just say Amazon and look at that. The new Mavic Mini is supposedly really good. I just haven't. There's no real not many reviews out because the app is not available except to a few reviewers out there, and very few people have had any issues with that. You can see here the Mavic Mini is listed here at $399 plus free shipping. I got mine coming from Best Buy. You can't go wrong with this one, I don't think, though. I hate to recommend it too much since I have not actually had my hands on it and nobody that I know personally has reviewed it yet. But the reviews I've seen have been very good, and it's DJI. They don't put out junk. This is 2.7K, so unless you absolutely need 4K video, this is the way to go. But the Xeno does do 4K if you gotta have that 4K video. The Mavic Mini, though, has got better range. It uses Wi-Fi just like the Hubsan. The camera is probably still going to be better on the Mavic Mini, and it should fly a little better just because of DJI's experience and their just overall quality compared to Hubsan. But you know, if you can get this Hubsan for around $250, you know, that's going to be $150 less than a Mavic Mini. That's a lot of money. But if you're going to be paying in a $330 to $350 range, then you might as well spend 50 extra bucks and get the Mavic Mini. All right, guys. Well, that's some of my recommendations for Christmas. Again, that's just me. There's many other good things out there. So make sure that you check with the reviewers that you trust, the people who are going to tell you if things are good or bad. And remember, if everything that if somebody reviews is great, then they're not being honest with you. All right, guys. Have a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, even though that's not for a little ways away. And again, check the video description for purchase links, coupon codes, and information regarding all these, including my reviews to the stuff that I reviewed. Again, on the Xeno, my friend John Coopy has a Xeno, Ron Brown, Marcus Crawford. Those people all have them, and they love them. Brian over at True Roan Reviews as well has it. I wanted to mention that. All right, guys, that wraps up the video. Again, check the video description for links to all these. And as always, guys, have a wonderful day.
The power of the dark side.